guys! Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm so excited. I finally get to say that. I've been wanting to start YouTube for so long, probably going on like 10 years now. I don't know why I never did it. I'm turning 24 in 2 weeks and I just don't care anymore. I just want to do what I want to do. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to make a YouTube. So this channel will mainly be centered around teaching and my journey. I am a second grade teacher in Columbia, Missouri. I'm so excited just to share my journey with all of you. I have already been teaching since January. More about that later. And so I feel like I already have so much to share and I just want to connect with as many of you as possible. So today I'm going to be doing the teacher tag just to get to know me a little bit better and just to introduce myself on here. Eventually the lighting will be better. Hopefully the camera situation will be better. We'll see. But for now, this is what I have. So I'm just working with it. So let's go ahead and get into the video. So first question is, how long have you been teaching? What grades have you taught? Tell us about your background and stuff. So I started mid-year in January of 2020 as a second grade teacher. I took over a classroom just a few weeks after I graduated college. So that was stressful. And 2 days before I graduated, I had an interview. So it was super intense, super stressful, but it was everything I needed to kind of give me that push, because for the longest time I just thought I was just going to graduate and then maybe sub here and there and just kind of hang out and wait for a teaching job in the fall. But that is not what happened. I ended up taking on the toughest position of my life, one that I would learn from forever. So I will tell you all about that in a little bit. I have also accepted a second grade position for this fall. So I'm officially going to be a first year teacher starting from the beginning of the year, full year. And I'm really excited about that because I missed out on all those first year activities, meet the teacher and the first day of school and all that. So I'm so excited to get to experience that with my kiddos. I guess I will go ahead and kind of give you a little story time about my experience as a second grade teacher this year. So like I said, I graduated in December and I had an interview 2 days before I graduated. So it was just out of pure luck. A cousin's friend of a friend knew someone in Columbia where I live who taught at an elementary school, and their school is hiring for a first grade teacher to come in January. So I was like, all right, I'll reach out to her. Next thing you know, I had an interview, and I actually didn't end up getting that interview, but I really hit it off with the principal. Basically reached out to me the next day and said, another principal that's hiring for a second grade position at another school. So I was wondering if you're interested. So I was like, of course, yes. I got the job for that second grade position. Just a few days later, I interviewed for it and got the job right on the spot. So my whole life was flipped around. I thought I was gonna graduate, just go home and chill for like 4 months, but instead they were like, nope, you have to start in a couple of days. And I'd never had my own classroom, and I went from student teaching in 5th grade to having my own second grade classroom. I had no idea what I was doing. I was so scared. And it was a really exciting time, but also really stressful. I took whatever supplies I could. I had so many people help me out, just friends and family that donated to my Amazon wish list, and they helped me out getting books and everything that you need for your classroom. So I was able to set up a classroom in 2 days, 12-hour days, back to back. Super stressful, but super exciting. And yeah, I started mid-year, and I'll tell you a little bit about this classroom. So the teacher left this classroom in December, just mid-year left. I don't know her reasoning, but she kind of just left the class in the dust. So I got hired mid-year basically to come in and help the class get their act together. It was, I always told the class, I walked in and it was like a bunch of wild monkeys just running around. They had no classroom management, no behavior management system at all. So it was really hard, and the behaviors were bad, the worst I'd ever seen. So I had to come in there, throw everything I know at them. I had to basically take everything I learned in student teaching and in undergrad for behavior management and classroom management and implement that right away. And so it was a lot of trial and error, a lot of error, and things just didn't work at all. And then eventually, I would say about a month in, I started to see progress. So I was in the classroom for 3 months before COVID-19 hit. So not only did I have the craziest first year coming into a classroom mid-year, taking over this classroom, but then I had to teach online with COVID-19 putting out all schools. It's safe to say it was a crazy first year, and I put that in quotes because it wasn't a full first year. I was technically a first year teacher, but I came in mid-year, so technically I'm counting this August as my first full year. So it was really crazy, and I'd love to share a little bit more about my experience, maybe in another video, because I learned so much, and I'm sure those of you out there who have dealt with either high behavior classrooms or maybe have came into a classroom mid-year as well know what I mean. And so it was really tough. It weighed on me every day. I doubted myself. I questioned if teaching was the right job for me. I needed a lot of support from people around me to get through it. But yeah, honestly, I'm so thankful for it. Even though it was a tough few months, I'm so thankful for it because I learned so much. And now I know going into my first full year teaching in August, I'll be way better. I'll just ultimately be a better teacher, and I'll be better for my kids coming in. That's just a little bit about my background. I know I kind of went through it really fast, but I can share more about it in another video. If you guys have questions about it, I can answer in another video. And what grade do you currently teach, and where do you teach? So I live in Columbia, Missouri. My boyfriend goes to Mizzou Medical School. He's in his 3rd year of medical school, so I moved there to be with him. And I am teaching 2nd grade in the fall, which I think I already said. So I'm really excited to be back with 2nd grade, just because I feel like I didn't really get to experience it since I came in mid-year, and honestly I called it like behavior boot camp for the first 2 months because that's really what it was. So I didn't feel like I got to really teach 2nd grade, so I'm so excited to be able to start from the beginning of the year and actually teach 2nd grade. What is your school mascot? I'm actually at a new school this fall, so my new mascot is Lions, which I'm really excited about. I actually already printed out like some take-home folders with a little lion on it. How many students are in your class this year? I'm not sure. We haven't got our student list yet, which I'm so excited. I can't wait to get our student list. I haven't actually even seen my new classroom, so I'm dying to see it. I think we will get to see it in July, hopefully, but I'll definitely post pictures once I do on Instagram. Speaking of Instagram, follow me. Honestly, that's where most of you are probably coming from, but I have a teacher Instagram. I will link it below. And that's just where I post everything teaching related and what inspired me to make a teaching YouTube. Yeah, I'm assuming my class size will probably be around 20 to 23. That's what I'm assuming. What is your ideal class size? I would say around 20. I mean, the class I came into in January actually only had 17, and so that was really tiny, but the reason was the behaviors were so bad they had to start taking kids out of that classroom and putting them into others. So most of the other 2nd grade classrooms have between 20 to 23, and which I think is pretty average. Question number 6, what is your favorite drink at Starbucks? I'm one of the only teachers out there who doesn't even drink coffee. I know that sounds crazy, but honestly, I have not drank coffee in 2 years probably. I struggle with anxiety, and caffeine makes it worse. If you know, you know. So I will only drink uncaffeinated, like decaf coffee or tea, because tea has really low caffeine in it. So sometimes I'll drink tea or matcha just like to get a little boost, but I can't handle just like a whole shot of caffeine. It will like drive me up the wall, and then I'll crash really hard. So I'm like the only teacher in my team that is ever sitting there with a water bottle instead of a mug with coffee in it. So yeah, that's a little fun fact about me. What is your favorite online resource? I would say my favorite online resource is probably Google Slides. I use Google Slides for everything from timers to just PowerPoints during the day for lessons. Our morning meetings are on Google Slides. Honestly, I have a slide for almost everything I do during the day that I put up whenever we're doing readers workshop or math workshop, whatever it is, I have a slide for. Can you describe your perfect classroom? Bonus, can you describe your perfect school? I would say my perfect school is one just with a lot of support, a lot of open communication, and just really friendly people. Definitely want a school that has your back, especially when it comes to behaviors or just any problems that you have in the classroom. My perfect classroom is just like a super homey classroom. That's why I tell my students I just want it to be homey for them. I want them to feel welcome, get away from the stresses of life in the classroom. I know I work in a Title I school district, so a lot of my kiddos, you know, have some rougher home lives. So whenever they come into school, I want them to forget all of that. I want them to come in and have fun, let it be just warm and inviting. That's like my perfect classroom, and I just want us to act like one big family in there. Number 9, what is your favorite and least favorite thing about teaching? Well, I think I'll be able to answer this better after I've been teaching for a whole year for sure. So I don't have a ton of experience that I can really talk about, but just from the experience I do have, I will say my favorite thing about teaching is definitely just the day-to-day activity. People ask me, you know, why are you a teacher and why, you know, what makes you want to do that? And it's just the perfect job for me, from everything from being with kids all day. Obviously, I love kids, and the interaction with kids, the connections you get to make with kids, every day is different, like the never-ending activity. Just every aspect of the job, you know, just being creative and fun and organized and planning, that's just right up my alley. So that's a little bit why I love teaching. Maybe something that's hard about teaching, definitely the amount of things that a teacher has to do and how heavy our to-do list is every single day. It's really hard not to take work home with you, and that's one thing I'm huge on. I really try to keep work at work, and with teaching that's super hard to do, so I end up staying late most nights or working on the weekends, and that can be a bummer sometimes. So the last question: what is some advice that you would give to a beginning teacher, someone who is thinking about going into teaching or someone who is already teaching? Well, this is a big one. There's a lot of advice, and I'm sure, like I said before, after a whole year teaching, I'll have way more advice to give. If you're going into student teaching, soak it up. I miss student teaching so much. I just had the best experience, and I had the best co-teacher and the best class, and I learned so much. That was definitely the time when I really learned what it's like to be a teacher. So just soak up that time, take notes, take pictures, take videos, talk to everybody in the school. I mean, observe as many classrooms as you can. Even if you want to teach 5th grade, observe a 1st grade classroom, or I observed kindergarten, and that's not even in my degree, but I still learned so much just from watching those kindergarten teachers. Just observe and learn as much as you can and just soak it up, because it's really fun. Going into teaching, I would say to ask a lot of questions. Don't be afraid to lean on your teammates, because I learned that right away. I was knocking on my 2nd grade teacher teammates' doors immediately, asking them what to do, and, you know, just getting advice 20 times a day from them, and that's okay. That's what they're there for. They're your team for a reason. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't feel like you have to hold it all together all the time. I may have had a little breakdown a couple times in the first couple of weeks I started teaching, because I felt like I had to like hold it all in, hold it all together, be perfect all the time. You're not going to be perfect. It's your first year teaching. You don't know what you're doing. They know that. So just be imperfect. It's okay. Ask questions. Just be yourself. And yeah, don't try to be so perfect all the time. That's the biggest thing I learned from teaching this year. That is it for today's video. I just wanted to come on here just to talk a little bit more about myself. I feel like on Instagram, you only get to see a little snippet of my life, and I feel like nobody actually knows anything about me on there. Thank you to everybody who follows me on Instagram and is so sweet and comments and DMs me. I've made so many more friends on there than I thought I would. The teacher community is just the best, and that's really what inspired me to make this YouTube, because I knew you guys would all be there and support me, and so I'm just so thankful. So I do plan on having more videos. I plan on having a Q&A coming up soon. I'll ask you guys to submit some questions. So feel free to drop questions below in the comments and I'll answer those in my next video. And I'll be asking questions on Instagram soon too. And yeah, I hope you guys all have a great day. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.